Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, the offseason's upon us. The Super Bowl has happened. It's officially time to look forwards. The Jets have some pressing needs. Some stuff has come out in the last couple of days. David Bakhtiari is a name linked to the Jets and how they're going to fix the offensive line. And then Sam Howell is a name linked to the Jets and how they're going to fix their backup quarterback spot. Some stuff we got to dive into, Matt, as the offseason comes to be.
Yeah, we'll use this episode as let's talk offensive line and backup quarterback. Two of the most glaring holes for the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, farewell. He will be traded within 2 to 3 months, probably, most likely before the draft.
It's unbelievable, Matt, that we kind of had this conversation last year, and then Zach Wilson started most of our games 2023. But it will not be happening in 2024.
Definitely will be traded. And then we've talked about it a million times. Offensive line, you need 3 guys. 3 guys. And that does sound like a lot. It's 60% of the position.
That's good math.
But they have 2. Like, you have 2 guys in Tippmann and AVT. Crossing fingers, AVT's healthy. And, let's start with O-line. Maybe I'm oversimplifying. But if you draft a tackle at 10, that's now 40% left. Like, you see, like, it actually is crazy to think that if you can make 10 work and you get that right tackle, you got to get a guard and a tackle. And then you move heaven and earth to get one of those guys be really damn good and the other one be serviceable. And then you have a normal offensive line. So, Mike, give me your plan if they were to draft tackle at 10, right tackle. I don't think Alt falls. I don't think Olu falls. Talius Fuaga is probably the most likely. What do you do at left tackle? I'm like, what do you do at guard to build a real wall for Aaron Rodgers?
I think the most exciting free agent is Tyron Smith. So these rumors that come out now about David Bakhtiari are interesting because it kind of throws a cog in the whole plan. So there's on one hand, Tyron Smith himself is a little bit injury prone, but he'll play 12, 13 games. He's an all-pro. Bakhtiari's played 13 games in 3 years. So if the Jets are going to bring in Bakhtiari, in what role is he like? Are they saying he's the starter? Because, of course, Bakhtiari and Rodgers go way back with the Packers. He's a multiple-time all-pro, but he just cannot stay on the field. He's got bad knees. Jets have a turf. If you haven't heard, Jets have a turf. They play on turf. So I personally, I would try to sign Tyron Smith. You could either keep Laken Tomlinson on you cut his contract, you give him a pay cut, or you could sign a cheaper guard out there. You're not going to be able to spend. The Jets can't get the top guy at every position, even though we would like that. And even if they have the money to, someone's going to try to sign some guys. So I would go Tyron Smith, cheap left guard in free agency, or you could draft a guy day 3. Tippmann, AVT, 10th overall pick. But, Matt, what happens if the Jets want Bakhtiari?
I think you have to look at him at an offensive tackle 3 perspective. Like, I've been talking about, I really think that Becton might be a Jet next year, and people are going to freak out and probably unclick the video. But I think they would bring him back as, like, the market's not hot for him, and they bring him back as, like, a 3rd offensive tackle, a true backup where you don't rely on Becton or Bakhtiari to be a starting tackle.
Well, that's the problem, Matt. That's the problem. If the Jets go into 2024 with one of the tackle spots being those 2 guys combining to play 17 games, if they play, but you just can't, right? You just can't.
No, you can't rely on that. So what I'm thinking is if you get Tyron Smith
combined, they can't play 8.5 games each. I think I agree with you. I'm just working on my pressing.
But also, when Becton was healthy, friend of the program, I like the guy Becton a lot. When he was healthy, he wasn't to the standard that we expect to not only his level, but a average left tackle. He didn't do it last year. So, Mike, if you get Bakhtiari, truly like a dirt cheap deal to be the offensive tackle 3, and you have a Rodgers guy in here. Hear me out though. Rodgers guy in here and like a good locker room guy to have. Like truly seems like a good dude that you can be 69.
Like,
let's get after it. But you're
one of
right. The
boys.
contract, you're probably thinking the contract may not be like a dirt cheap deal.
I don't know. I have no idea because to your point, that would be great. All pro player in the past. Unbelievable insurance. Like that is a much like imagine you have David Bakhtiari as your insurance instead of Billy Turner. Like that's awesome. But but other teams know that he only played 13 games the last 3 years. It's not a secret. He played one game in 2021, then 12, and then one. So or 1-11-1. So it's like who's going to really take a chance to make this guy their starting tackle? I don't know, but if I completely agree with you, man, I would love him to be in the mix.
Like you just can't rely on him to start, and there maybe.
What if Becton's the main backup?
What do you like? You would have. I don't think I would trust it. I really
I don't think I would either. It's insane.
Because, like, I think if we have this conversation last year, like in 2023 offseason of Becton, we don't know how he's going to be. Maybe he'll be a backup, and we sign Bakhtiari. The tone's like drastically different.
We would have definitely wanted it. Yeah, we would have probably just said Becton could be our starter. Yeah,
but now you back to back both those guys again. If they're the third offensive tackle, I can live with it. Because maybe you get Tyron Smith at left tackle, and then maybe the guy you draft at 10 at right tackle could move into guard. And then you have like Becton and Bakhtiari win the right tackle battle. And there's like a hypothetical fantasy
Becton.
I don't even know what I said. But
no, you said Becton and Bakhtiari, but we're combining them into one entity.
Oh, true. I would go Tyron Smith at left tackle, and then at left guard, or whatever guard spot you don't want AVT at. And AVT is a tackle potential. I'm just going to leverage whatever Michael Nania post about how like he graded out as like the 5th guard, even though he's like read in like multiple columns. Like in Thompson, I'm like, oh, he's going to be like a great guard and literally pray that they're a decent guard. Then you're good with offensive line.
If he's your 5th guy, that's fine. If he's not being paid so much money, I'm fine with whoever the left guard is. Just put a normal NFL player there. Why can't like Becton play left guard? Just be fat and play left guard. I don't know. That's an uneducated take. But man, I think my actual number one, like the best case scenario on the field at any point this year is Tyron Smith, I guess Lakin, Tippmann, AVT, and Bakhtiari. But like, no. It has to be the 10th overall pick. Has to be one of the guards. Yeah. It would be fun. It would be fun. I sincerely hope Tyron Smith is the guy. All pro left tackle in free agency. He's older, so he's not going to command as much money. We've seen these older left tackles in the past few years. Trent Williams is the obvious guy. What's his face? Andrew Whitworth played until he was mid-40s. So you could do it. That's my guy. That's the guy. Inspire some confidence. But you need multiple backup options. Bring Becton back. You have Carter Warren. You have Max Mitchell. Maybe get another guy to replace Billy Turner. If that guy is Bakhtiari, I am very comfortable.
Yeah. And Billy Turner can't be in the team next year. Like you just can't have that be
he
like
cannot be on the team. It said he's not fat enough to be an offensive lineman.
He's not fat enough to be an offensive lineman. He looks like a undersized tight end playing tackle. Like it's a weird. He just doesn't have a shape to be a left tackle or a right tackle.
Or a right tackle. Any position.
All right. Well, I had one
I feel
last
good about that, Matt, though. I feel good, dude. Like that's our line. Are you serious? Like a real left you have but the problem is if they go Bakhtiari, Lakin, Tippmann, AVT, 10th overall pick, it's not enough.
You know why it's not enough? Because you can't guarantee the 10th overall pick will be good. You can't guarantee that. You hope he is, but you can't guarantee that he can play up to NFL competition. If you take a guy out of Oregon State, I think he'll be good, but you have a question mark there. You have a question mark with AVT being injured.
Right, it's already 2 in a row.
You have a question mark with Bakhtiari, and then you have a question mark because your left guard hasn't played well. So you physically can't do that.
They might do that. That might be the line.
It's probably what they do. But what you probably want, like, why can't Laramie Tunsil demand a trade? Like, why can't like a guy where Trent Williams and Laramie Tunsil were 2 guys at the time in their prime, left tackles, like I just don't want to play for this shithole franchise, and the team just got them. Like, why can't we just find a way to get them? Like, trade our entire 2025 draft.
Fuck 2025, dude. I was gonna say I hope there's a video that comes out of Laramie Tunsil smoking weed, but it's him.
Yeah,
he's literally the original weed smoking video. I guess Dan Marino is the original.
Yep. Backup quarterback, Mike.
Backup quarterback.
We're going to talk about it a lot, more than just this episode, but gut feeling right now. What do you want?
What do I want? I want Jimmy G. By far. That's my absolute number one guy. All the dude does is win football games. He just does. Even last year he sucked. He was 3-3. You just need to figure out a way to win some of these football games with Jimmy G. That's my absolute guy. Like Minshew was amazing last year. He's probably going to be overpriced. But what do you have to pay Minshew? Like borderline starting quarterback money? I don't want to do that. Jimmy G's coming off of the suspension. Hopefully Rodgers can play the first 2 weeks. Because, dude, Matt, he's 43-20 as a starter, Jimmy G.
And that's the point where if you tweeted out tonight, I want Jimmy G, I would say 70% of comments would be positive and 30% would tell you, look at his stats last year. He's Zach Wilson. And that's why I like having a YouTube show where like 400 people might watch it. Because we can, if someone has that take, we can try to bring you back and explain that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't Zach Wilson. He's 1,000 times better. Like 1,000 times better. And yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo sucked ass last year. Like not good at all.
Yeah.
But give me him any day of the week over Zach Wilson. And then Mike, if Garoppolo is there, I still am happy to draft a quarterback in like day 3 to be the third guy, or even spend more money and like get a third backup that again is going to be like a Mike White type guy. Can't pay him 15, 10 million, whatever the Dolphins gave him, but you need a third guy too. Like I'm gonna go that far that you need to have 3 normal quarterbacks. Like when the Jets had Darnold, McCown, Bridgewater, like any of those guys you would trust to start a game.
Yeah. And
then they trade Bridgewater, which was a great trade to the Saints.
Yeah, they got third round.
Yeah.
Jimmy G's last 16 starts, 3,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 13 picks. 10-6.
Why do people hate him so much? I get he's not like a top 10 guy, but how do you hate him that much?
He's handsome. He's cool. We'd have the coolest fucking quarterbacks. But other than that, Sam Howell got thrown around. I saw honestly, Matt O'Leary had a take today on Twitter that I disagreed with, and it was anti-Mike White, and it was basically, and I usually agree with Matt O'Leary, but I love
Matt O'Leary.
He has very, very based normal takes. Like he's not super exciting, which is fine. Like he usually says things that are just normal, which I like. So he basically said that, the people saying that Mike White should be the backup is kind of ridiculous. He's going to go drink alcohol because of that. I would love Mike White as the backup. And you know what? I was thinking about this too the other day. This comes back to the whole Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas trust factor of the Jets. I never the most I believed in the Jets as a team was 2022 in the last whatever, without Rodgers.
I know it's sad, but
2022 the Jets are 7-4. Mike White's your quarterback. You just beat the shit out of the Bears, and you have the Vikings and the Bills coming up. And Mike White played fine in those games. That is actually what gives me hope for Robert Saleh run team with normal quarterback play, because it felt good, even though you lost those games. But it's still Mike White.
All right, Mike, do or die, gun to head.
Yeah,
Mike White or Jacoby Brissett.
Mike White.
See, I would go Jacoby Brissett.
I might die. It's a very crazy take.
Yeah, I would very much rather Jacoby Brissett because, Mike, I think we know what we'll get with Mike White. Like, I truly don't think there's like this.
I think it's the opposite.
Wait, no. But Mike, my
point
is,
what you're going to get with Jacoby Brissett.
But like Mike White literally had games where he would have like the Bills game in 2022 or 2021 where he just threw 4 picks and like 100 passing yards. Like I can't.
That's early Mike White.
I can't have that replace Aaron Rodgers again. Like there is unknown. I should change it. There's unknown to Mike White in terms of
it intrigues me.
The baseline. Like what if he comes in and they go 1-5? Like I don't think Brissett could. He might be 3-3, and I'd rather 3-3 and just
Mike White could go 5-1 though. Yeah, I agree. We're saying the same thing. Jacoby Brissett, exactly what he is, and also he's been insane against the Jets in his career for whatever reason. So our thoughts about him are probably a tiny bit inflated. In fairness, he literally has destroyed the Jets.
Yeah.
So
Commanders game, and people made a good point.
The Browns game, the Joe Flacco game last year.
you're comparing the what's it called? You're comparing I'm like gone today. I'm not on my A game.
Fucking hammered, dude.
Oh, Howell and Brissett in the Commanders game this year, where the idea of Sam Howell is interesting. I'm not going to shoot it down, but Mike, he's not quarterback too, in my opinion. Like, if you were to take a flyer on Sam Howell and he's like the third guy, that fine, perfectly fine.
You got to do something else too. You got to do something else. You probably draft a guy.
I don't even know if I live with that, Mike.
He could be the guy. He could be the drafted guy. Then Sam Howell. And
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm fine with that.
You can't be QB2. And against Brissett, like, think about that Commanders game. And the Commanders aren't a good team. How inept they were with Sam Howell against the Jets defense. And then Jacoby Brissett comes in and he's just a normal quarterback. It's not even close in terms of like, yeah, the upside for Howell could be great 2 to 3 years from now. And maybe you sit him behind Rodgers and stuff. But if Rodgers goes down, I need an adult in the room that can get a first down. And the Jets have not had that outside of Mike White. And Mike White's ribs kept breaking. So I'm sorry, we need someone else.
No, listen, dude. Jacoby Brissett is like the backup quarterback. And his record is a little weaker, but he's played as a backup. Like Jimmy G was the starting guy in the Niners. He's gonna have a better record.
DJ Reed wants Jacoby Brissett. Tweeted about
I saw that. Listen, I will be very happy if they get Brissett. He's just so boring, which is what you want for a backup. I just sat here like a year and a half ago and said that if Mike White is the starting quarterback next year, which would have been 2023, I'll be fine.
I was here.
So I will take him as my backup quarterback. I will do it. He's injury prone. He's weird. We don't know exactly what he is. I'll take it. Brissett is a great option. Gardner Minshew, great option. Jimmy G, great option. Sam Howell, the stat that's getting thrown around is a good stat, Matt, where he, through half the year was like 19 touchdowns, 7 picks. He could, of course, win a football game. I think he would have been like second or third all time in passing yards on the Jets in his season last year, which is hilarious, but he also led the league in passing attempts. That's a guy you could throw in and can win a game for sure. So I'm fine with him as a backup or a third guy. These are a lot of good options, Matt. And this is 10,000 times better than what we had this year, even though all these guys were still available. Joe Flacco is another one that O'Leary was talking shit about today, which why would he not be a good backup option? I don't know. After what he did last year, I would love him again. I wanted him this year. I always love Flacco. There's so many options, Matt.
We got to get Matt O'Leary on the pod. I love Matt O'Leary. Great dude. We got to get him on and talk about it. The Flacco reservation is –
It's more I think he was more saying that he'd rather have Minshew and Brissett than Flacco and Mike White is his argument, which is not a crazy take. So
I think that's like the popular take. You're going to get
probably right. It's probably correct. I just know Mike White slander.
The reason you can't go with Flacco, like you literally can't, is he had Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, who's like a legit known good offensive coach, and you put him behind Nathaniel Hackett. It's not going to work. It's weird. Like I just don't trust Nathaniel Hackett to lead.
Nathaniel Hackett is objectively horrific.
What happened?
Nathaniel Hackett is objectively horrific
in all aspects of coaching and football and potentially life. It's just not good.
Maybe he likes fun.
Nathaniel Hackett's like saving grace is that in Hard Knocks, he seemed like if one of us became like a coach, where in terms of like personality wise, like we just like bullshit during meetings. But the problem is you can't bullshit during meetings and then not score points. It's like obviously we Mike, I have a very honest question for you. If you were the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets last year and you had the Madden playbook in front of you, like, are you the 31st offense in the NFL? 32nd?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What do you think you are?
I think with the Jets team last year, I'll fucking play it. I'll redo it. I'll do the whole season. We could see. I don't know. I think I would definitely score more points.
And then you come to the show and talk shit about Zach Wilson and get fined.
The 31st offense, the problem was the way they did it too, is like you had even a couple of games where you moved the ball. The Texans game, the Chiefs game. And then everything else is so even worse. It's insane. It's not like they scored like 18 points every game. That's fine. That's what we wanted. They would get 30, and then they would have 8, 0, 6, 10. assholes. I think I would have been the 24th ranked offense, and we would have made the playoffs if I'm the offensive coordinator.
You know what stuck with me a little bit, and I agree with you. I think you would. You made a comment last episode. I've been thinking about it a lot. The Jets-Chargers game. You said like the Jets potentially win that game with Rodgers, and I don't disagree with that. But like that game might have been one of my least favorite Jet games of all time.
Yeah.
Monday night, maybe you can save the season. You're playing an AFC team that might be in the wild card hunt with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they were uncompetitive, like truly uncompetitive in that game.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where even if you put Rodgers in there, you got to do like the whole what if for the whole season. But that game was so bad.
It just changes everything too. But it's like all those situations are just different. So the Jets get a stop, they let up a punt return. But then like the Chargers, what they have on offense that game? The Chargers had like 200 yards they had 191 yards of offense. Like, get the fuck out of here. They scored on a punt return.
Yeah.
Then they scored on a short field. And what they scored at the end of the game, they scored like a pick six, basically. So it's like Rodgers changed. These games are just so different. I think we're going to see like the Texans game this year is what the Jets are going to default look like in 2024. I mean, that's the plan. That's literally the plan.
Yeah.
So,
and
it will help if you have Tyron Smith and the 10th overall pick.
It would.
I'll tell you that much.
I forgot to ask people to subscribe and like.
Yeah.
I think I'm a 20% clip rate. Remembering to do it. Like good. 1 out of 5 videos, I'll get it out there.
Yeah, we don't need it anyway. Don't do it. Unsubscribe. All right, you could subscribe. You don't have to. You don't have to do that.
Oh, Jamal Adams wants to be a Jet again.
Oh, we should have led with this. Fuck.
Yeah.
You tweeted out there.
You know what we'll do? We'll cover it now for a little bit, like a minute or two, but he's going to like or tweet another thing insane before free agency. Then we'll do like a full deep dive.
Of course. You tweeted out, Matt. People forget. Like, he was insane. He was a disaster.
But there's other superstars that have requested a trade the past 5 years that have handled it like infinitely better. He's the blueprint of what not to do.
Well, the fans racist. He wants to go to Texas and Dallas.
Only request trade to winning teams that are like the top 5 teams in the NFL. Go on Instagram Live, smoke a cigar after it.
Pretend you have mental health issues.
The mental health thing again, just I don't think he understands what like him saying that he was depressed because the Jets went like 5-11.
7-9.
Oh, 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
So the other thing that really, really bothers me is the Jets don't like people saying like they want. There's not a space for him. Like I don't want Jamal Adams on this team. Like he's gonna play strong safety. Like he's gonna play stand-up linebacker. Like I just don't want. Like he just brings so much negative energy. And then it would be very funny if they've signed him for a veteran minimum because I predicted 3 years ago that the Jets would take Jamal Adams after being cut in 3 years, and the timeline worked perfect. But that was it.
Hopefully your tweet. No, I love when the Jets bring back their old players. I love old veteran players. My favorite things. This time is just he was so sickening with the Jets at the end. He really was so. Like, I don't even know what the word is. He just did everything the wrong way.
It was evil. Like, it was like
he acted
like
evil.
Evil, like, it's like weird. It's like a Jet account that, like, hates the Jets. Like, NFL rumors. But it's like a real person who was on your team. Like, a true enemy for like a year. Then he got hurt, didn't play well.
It always
look, showing love to the Jets now. I'll take all the love we can get. But I don't want you back. And you can't forget about how you left. Very clear.
Just bizarre. And it's like, I remember it scares me because we used to say we would go to training camp and it would just be like Jamal signing autographs by himself at the end of the training camp.
He's like I can't leave until I get everyone.
Yeah, we said we wish we had 11 Jamal Adams. And then what if like Garrett Wilson acts like this? Or Breece. Breece is already on the spectrum of could act like this just with his like Twitter, social media stuff. But Jamal wasn't like that.
Breece is really funny, but he doesn't hide it. He'll just like a tweet. It's like the Jets' offensive line is trash. He'll just like a tweet. where it's not great. I was thinking about like the whole Saquon stuff with the Giants right now, where not going to extend him, like tagged him, all that. Like the Jets didn't get a 5th-year option on Brees. They didn't get him in the first round. They tried to trade back up for him. So in 2 years, a year and a half, would it surprise you if Brees has 2 back-to-back amazing years and the Jets don't want to pay him top 3 running back market? I don't know. So
I hope we have that problem.
Hopefully it comes back to he's that good and wants that much money, and we want him to have that much money, and he's not like demanding a trade. But there's negotiation. Like Deebo Samuel wasn't going to be a 49er. Like he was like not going to be a 49er until he was again. So things always change. I hope everyone goes about it the right way. He can like whatever he wants on social media. Just run for 1,500 yards, total whatever.
Listen, slippery slope. That's what we would have said about Jamal. Sack the quarterback, get some picks.
All right, I gotta go. Mike,
go eat some dinner, dude.
As always, a pleasure. We'll be back again. Hit subscribe, like, comment. Anything else?
I'm gonna go work on our secret project.
You can't wait. That's gonna be good. I'm gonna do a great video to it as well. Like,
yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying. All right.
So
have a good night, buddy.
All right.